This is my nearly completed duotone drop pullover sweater. As much as I loved the I-cord hem detail, it's a little departure from the traditional ribbing, which I get a little tired of, and I thought that this was just so cute. But I noticed that a lot of the sweaters people were making with this end would sort of roll up as stockinette does, no matter how much you block it. So I improvised this modification where I did a few rows of double knitting. We're very happy with how it turned out because it will never roll up. I don't have to block it over and over again to try to make it lay flat because, as we know, stockinette just does not lay flat. I'm going to do the same thing to the bottom hem on the body of the sweater. So here I am at the beginning of the round. I am ready to set up my double knitting section, and to do that I will simply knit one and then add a backwards loop cast on stitch like that. Knit again. In case you've never done a backwards loop cast on, it's so easy. You simply make a backwards loop like this. I'll show you again. Loop, and then it's called a backwards loop because you stick it on this needle kind of backwards, and then you just pull that tail and up it goes. Now this is, as you can tell, a bit tedious, but it's worth it because it won't require any stitching down later. It will be a perfect invisible seam. So we'll work along the edge just like this, knit one, backwards loop. And as you're doing this, try not to make your backwards loop stitches too tight. They'll be much easier to work into when you come back around if there's a tiny bit of slack in them. And as slow as it is, you can see that as you get going, you can pick up a little speed. Now this is specific to the duotone sweater, but if you are also making one of these, I wanted to show you exactly how I handle this when I come up to this faux I-cord detail, which is so lovely. I went ahead and did my knit and then backwards loop here. And this round I am going to be knitting the I-cord stitches and not slipping. So I will go ahead and just knit all three of those with my fingering weight only. And then, rather than knit one backwards loop, we're going to switch our order to backwards loop, then knit one. So what we will end up with on the inside of this sweater is two purl, or rather knit facing stitches back to back on the back of the I-cord, and that way the I-cord can keep its lovely texture. Now I have reached the end of the round. I ended on a knit stitch, and I am not going to do another backwards loop after this one because for working in the round in this manner, I actually prefer a back-to-back knit to knit rather than having a purl stitch in between, because that creates a little bit of a ribbing right here, which I don't like when I'm trying to create a seamless hem like this. So I will simply slip the marker, whoops, not that one, just the marker, and since this one was a knit round where I knitted all of the right side stitches, I'm now going to begin a purl round, and the way I do this is simply to slip every knit stitch with the yarn in the back, then bring to the yarn to the front and purl all of these backwards loop stitches. They are a little bit funky sometimes to work into, but it can be done. And then again, yarn to the back, slip, purl with yarn in front, always making sure you catch the right way of that stitch. Slip one with yarn in back, purl one. Now the main challenge with this way of double knitting with only one color is your muscle memory may kick in and you could start to work a 1 by 1 ribbing and not even realizing it. So one way of fighting that is by actually just saying it out loud to remember which row I'm on. Slip, purl, slip, purl, slip, purl. And then you'll keep going all the way around. And for you duotone knitters, I'm back at an I-cord detail. I did this purl stitch right next to it. I shall slip all 3 of these stitches with the yarn and back obs, and then purl that next backwards loop stitch, and then resume my slip purl pattern. Back to that end of round again. I have ended by slipping that stitch with the yarn and back, and then I'll slip the marker. And this time we're going to be doing a knit round, so I will knit. Make sure you don't knit these 2 together. Knit just that knit stitch, and then bring the yarn to the front, slip one with the yarn in the front. The reason you want to always make sure you're slipping the purl stitches with the yarn in front, and then when you slip a knit stitch, do so with the yarn in back, because you don't want this yarn passing over the outside of the fabric. It's basically running in the middle between these 2 sides that you're creating, and it will be completely invisible once it's done. Continue this whole round doing a knit 1, slip 1 pattern, and then we will alternate between those 2 rows, probably a total of 4 times. You can do it as many as you like. I would recommend at least 3 sets of those 2 rows. I think I'm going to do 4 on the hem. On the sleeves, I did 3 full rounds plus the setup row and then the bind off. Here it is after completing 4 sets of those 2 rounds, so 8 times around total on the inside here. 4 very neat rounds of what appears to be the right side of stockinette. I absolutely love how it is already joined here. It's a nice stretchy transition. To finish this type of an edge, I would not recommend doing just the standard bind off. A Kitchener bind off, which is also known as Italian bind off, sewn bind off, or tubular bind off, they're all pretty much the same thing, would be beautiful. But for this one, since I'm doing the duotone, I'm going to do this beautiful I-cord bind off, and I will make a separate video to show you how to do that. So stay tuned.